just before we get started, please let us know on hashtag Wakelet Community Week your favorite ideas from today's session. We'd love to see any of them. I know your minds are probably going to be going crazy with all the ideas that are going to be shared today. And don't worry if you can't sort of keep up with the ideas that are being shared. These recordings, these will be recorded and be shared, and all the resources and the recording will be shared after the webinar. So don't worry about that. And if there's anybody that you know that might have missed out on today's session, once we sort of make it available, feel free to share that with them once it's on YouTube. But yeah, I'll hand it over to everybody to make an intro.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, you've got to let me share the screen, Callum.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Technical difficulties, please stand by.
Right, okay.
It's always good to start with them, right? We get them out of the way and then we move on. It's good.
Right.
It's all good.
There we go. Everybody can see that. I lost the chat.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I can't see the chat box. There it is. Okay, just in case people want to chat. Who wants to do the intros?
You're driving?
I'm driving. Okay.
Good driving.
Welcome to Wakelet in the Library. I'm presenting with 3 fantastic rock star librarians and me. You probably know all of us. I am Deb Zeman. I'm a library media specialist up in Salina, Texas. I've been in the library for, this is going on my 5th year, finishing my 20th year in education. Yeah, I live in Dallas, but I don't sound like it. I sound more like Christina. You can find me on Twitter at Deb Zeman LMS. I'd love for you to follow me. I share everything. We'll talk about this later. You learn more about the Student Ambassador Program that myself and my partner, Tisha Poncio, helped create. I'll be talking about wakeouts later. I have my blog linked in there. And now I'm going to turn it over to Kristina.
Hi, I'm Christina Holsweiss. I'm a ed tech librarian on Long Island, New York. So there's my Twitter header, and there's my Twitter on the bottom, the next line.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. And then if you go down a little bit more, there's a webinar I did on remote learning for librarians for using Wakelet, and then a blog, 10 awesome ways to use Wakelet in school libraries. So if you want to look into more resources, there you go.
There we go. Now we got Sherry.
All right, I guess I'm up next. Deb's already pointed out her accent doesn't match. So I'm Sherry, and I'm joining you from Indiana, and I've already seen lots of North Carolina people in the chat, and so that's where you'll hear my accent come from. So 20 years in Indiana, the North Carolina accent's not going anywhere. I've been out of the library now for 4 years. I work for an awesome company called 5-Star Technology Solutions. We're a Google professional development partner, and we do all kinds of awesome Google things. And I love still, when I first came to the company and started doing professional development, and my biggest passion was, I still want to work with libraries and librarians because we're teaching in the biggest classroom in the school. So I love being able to still pursue that passion and share all the engaging ways that you guys are leading. Once a librarian, always a librarian for sure. So yeah, check us out on Twitter. On to Shannon.
Hi, everybody. It's so exciting to be here with all of you. My name is Shannon McClintock Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Shannon M. Miller. I am a teacher librarian and innovation director at Van Meter Community School in Iowa. And I also serve as the Future Ready librarian spokesperson. And so I recognize a lot of your names because I do a lot of traveling and speaking and helping others. And just like Sherry said, like that's the best thing, is being able to just connect and help all of you and get ideas from you too. So we're in the best community, and I love being here with all of you today.
Okay, so we're going to start with me. One of the things that I love about Wakelet is it gives you the opportunity to create something new or recreate. I'm kind of rebuilding the wheel. And I've always used Google Sites to create my digital breakouts, but I found the kids are pretty smart and they can figure out the code and how to see the HTML so that they can go, oh, there's the answer, and get it done in 35 seconds. No. So what I did was I created Wakeouts, which are the digital breakouts in Wakeout, and I'll click on so you can see. I've provided you with both a sample, so you have the framework, and then I also included my digital citizenship one too, but I'll pop in, hopefully it'll open. And what I did was I did create a Google form, and one of the things, and you can do this with OneNote also, one of the things you've got to remember is if this is where Spaces is going to be the game changer. Because what I found is I had originally created the Wakeout using my personal Gmail in my personal Wakelet. And when the kids went to go and access, I started getting emails saying, hey, I can't get in. So I had to transfer it over, make a copy, and had it in my school domain. So then the kids were able to access that. And that same goes for YouTube videos. Make sure that they're approved or the kids won't be able to access it. So what I did is here, I have the sample that you're more than free to copy and use. And in my blog, which I believe is linked, I did a blog for Wakelet, it gives you the step-by-step of how to set it up. And really it's, you have your title, you throw in your picture, and then you give a little backstory, oh, you and your friends have been locked in the school for 24 hours and you can't figure out how to get out. I then created the Google form. And one of the things you want to do is keep it to maybe 4 clues, because if you do more than that, it's going to overwhelm the kids, especially because this is a digital platform. So you do that, you plug in all your clues, and then what will happen is I have it set up in the Google form where if they submit their responses and 3 out of the 4 come back correct, they have the opportunity to go in and edit their answer and resubmit. And the thing that's great is in the sheets, I'll have a timestamp so I can tell who actually got all 4 completely answered correctly and they're the winner. So I'll show you what my digital citizenship one is. And this is based on the Digital Citizenship Academy that I run every year at the beginning of the year with Tisha. We're a 1-to-1 district, and it's one of those things, guys, we want to show you what not to do, but what to do. And so based on that training, I threw this together, and the kids can be in the library with me for one day learning all about this. And then the next day, they can do their reflection and see how well did they pay attention to everything that I said. So there's my story. There's the form. And then this is what's so cool with Wakelet. You can put just about any type of clue in here. So this one I created, which was with a Wordle, but I also put in a picture and I was able to upload that. This one was a video that I used, but as part of the video, they have to also use this picture and figure out the clue, and they can go in and answer. And then clue 3 was an Adobe Spark video that I created, which this is the directional one, and they can play it and it pops right out. They don't have to worry about going to another window, which is really nice on an iPad. We're an iPad district now, and I had one of my library aides try this. She's like, this is the greatest thing. I'm not bouncing tabs. It's all staying right there for me. And then the last one was a link to an article, which also had a YouTube video on it, and it just opens right up in there. And there you go. So that's my first round of examples. So I'll jump back if I can find the window. I can't find the window. There it is. And we'll shift on to Chris. Nope, we won't shift on to Christina.
No, I put everyone's in order of that we were on the slide. Yeah.
Those being mean. Okay.
Deb, could you just share that Wakeout example as well in the chat? A few people are asking for it.
The Wake Out. Yeah, well, it's linked in the actual Wakelet that Christina built that we'll share. If I try to share it now while I'm sharing the screen, you're going to see what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So,
Thanks, Sherry. Sherry just put the link in there. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you. And my blog, in case anybody needed it, is up. Where is it? There, with the step-by-step of how to set it up, and you can always reach out to me and I'll be happy to help. And now we're back to Christina. Nope, that's still me.
I put all of your, I put it in order of.
Okay, now this is another thing that I put together for reading units. One of our English teachers, I helped her set up a social justice unit, and she had all the books, and I thought the kids need to get an idea of what these books are about. So I created this Wakelet that gave book talks. It had the author reading the book. It had the book trailer if it's available. So when it wants to open, sorry, someday. When you have 4 people working from home, this is what happens. There we go. No. Yes. There we go. So I originally had it as a mood layout, but then I found that it was better in the media layout. So I had the book trailer, I had information about the story itself, and then we moved on to All American Boys and articles. And again, everything just pops right out. They don't have to go anywhere. You just want to remember to make sure it's approved for your district before you hand it out to the kids. And that's just all background information, which again, they don't have to worry about trying to go out to the internet and Google something. I've just provided them all the information right there. So that is me. Now we'll go to Christina, right? Nope, me again.
Oh, you've got book. Yeah, you've had all your stuff is put together.
Sorry.
I put it all together. All your stuff.
Sorry. Okay.
Keep sharing, Deb.
Sorry. So then
You got 2 more to go.
Oh my God, I do? Okay.
Yes.
So then the next one is my Tatius reading list. I am on the TLA reading committee for the Tatius book list, where we nominate books and we have a top 10 every year for the Texas Library Association. So this is where I brought in an app smash. I was creating everything in Bunsy for my review, and I said, there's got to be a great way, an easy way to share this with all the kids. So what I did was I posted the reading lists for 19 and 20. 21's not done, we're still working on it. But as I read, I'm creating a Bunsy, and what I'm able to do is post my review in there, and I give the kids, as you can see, the summary. They can just scroll right through, or it'll pop right out on the screen and they can go from next to next. It won't necessarily jump into Bunsy. So I'll put my 6-word story in there. And then what I've done is I've given it a review, but what they're doing is they're also able to jump out to Goodreads and see what I have to say about it and what other readers, librarians, critics have to say about the book to hopefully help them. So I've read about 60 books since we've been home, but I've only got about 40 in here. I'm still working on them. So some of these are not published yet. So this is a good thing for the kids to get an idea. The other thing I'm going to start probably doing is throwing in Kirkus reviews links also, so the kids or parents can see everything there. And then I may even be throwing in another app smash. I just saw my friend Claudio Zavala's video on the 15-second clip. So I'm like, I think I'm just going to smash it all in there and throw it all in there. So that's what I do. Is that my last thing, or do I have one?
You've got digital citizenship as your last. Save the best for last.
The best for last. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any questions in there? I can't see the chat, so.
You're all
at the
good.
moment, everyone's just complimenting your book taste.
Thank you. Oh, just wait till you see the others I got coming. They're amazing. So then we've got digital citizenship, and this is the student ambassador program through Wakelet, where The link to join is in here. We go through the 6 C's of the Student Ambassador Program, which is curation, collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, digital citizenship. And then in the end is a final digital portfolio. I wish I had the link in there for that, but it's all there. And what I can do is I can go get our Wakelet for our SWAT team and our library aides that created it, and I'll throw it in there after so everybody can see. And it's just an amazing program to help the kids build those 21st century learning skills with digital citizenship. Because whenever I present now about Wakelet, I'm always talking the 5th C, which is curation, and now the 6th C, which is citizenship. So there you go. Okay, now Christina.
So, I don't know why that's in there twice. I will fix that.
It's okay.
So I have digital reading logs. You know, when I was a kid, you know, you had those little index cards, and they, you know, and you give basically you read some books, and then they say, you know, who, what, where, when, how, why. You know, we couldn't really cheat off the internet back then, but I'm dating myself. And I just thought it was important to have digital reading logs. This way kids can put in other projects that they make when they read a book. Also, it could help them while they're, like, let's say they're reading a book and there's a TED Talk that that reminds them, or a book or something. So if you can open that digital reading journal, Deb, this is a template. You'll see that there's a copy button right on it. And so all of you right now, you can take this template and just press copy, and you can actually save this to your own Wakelet collection. So if you scroll down a little bit, you see it has the text, it gives you directions, it gives you post ideas, and suggested digital projects. So basically any digital project your students can make related to the book can be put in there. And then if you want traditional writing prompts, there's a bunch of them also in there. Now, if you like, you could just edit this. You could take parts out, whatever you like. But I like having the writing prompts in there because, you know, once in a while you want the kids, you know, the kids are like, I don't know what to talk about. And the writing prompts can, you know, could help you out with that. But I like, it's like a digital portfolio, but with reading. So they could take any book and they could find related articles, pictures, anything. They could make whatever they want, and it's in one area. So almost like a Goodreads for kids, but they're putting in any artifacts that they want in that digital. So in that Wakelet, that digital reading log. So again, copy away and use this on your own. I do want to show one thing, Deb, while you're there. The big game changer for me for Wakelet is if you press that little, and anytime you have text, you can press that little speaker button and it will speak for you. So your kids who are English language learners and special education students, it will read it for them. And then if you press the little dictionary on the right-hand side, it will translate into 68 different languages and read many of them. So your English language learners can still participate and type in their own language before they become familiar with English, and you can still learn about what they're reading in their own language, because literacy is important in every language. So that for me is the game changer, is the immersive reader.
There, I just changed it so people could see.
So again, so important for our kids to be able, literacy with learning a new language and English in their home language. So important to honor and promote both. So let's go to the next one in the list, Wakelet. Yeah, it's your second tab, Deb. We're gonna go to the second.
No, and I got it.
Oh, good. So we have digital now research. The kids, you know, when this is even good when you're writing your own papers and when you are, you know, researching on your own. You're constantly collecting things. Now with Wakelet, you can put the extension right up top in your browser, and you can click away and just gather information as you're going. So this is just a quick one I made on the coronavirus. Again, just a few resources, but you can have the resource and you can add a text box, and you can basically annotate your resources as you go through, because as you know, as librarians, the process is important, not just the product. So you can look at the kids' research before they hand in their final product. This could be in science, they could be in social studies, it could be in any subject, and even for yourself. So again, annotating your resources, not just collecting them. That's why I love the text feature in Wakelet. Next one is library newsletters. Again, this is a template that I've given to you. It is copyable. So you just go in there and then press copy, and you could have your own monthly newsletter. And I've given you a bunch of ideas. Yeah, a bunch of ideas. That's why he's still rolling. A bunch of ideas that you could put in your newsletter. You like them? You want to add more? You want to delete some? That's up to you. But it's got a nice little copy button on there, so you can copy in this newsletter and use it over and over again.
It's so big, it's not loading.
It's so big, right?
We can come back to it if you want when it kicks.
Well, maybe if you close one of your, like one of the other tabs, maybe that will come up. Because you look like a tab queen right now. Oh, there. Okay.
That one
So
back.
let's.
I got this little menu up here. I'm trying to move it to get it out of the way. Hang on.
Oh, it looks like it's still.
Nope. I'm just.
No, it's still coming out. Okay, so we're gonna let that roll a little bit. But again, it's got the copy button, so you can just copy that newsletter format.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have two more shopping lists. Oh my gosh, shopping lists are really great. So if you're renovating your library, or you need to, if you're on the, on the computer and you're like going around and going, oh, what can I put in my makerspace? Or, oh, here are some really great reviews. Yes, you're going to make shopping lists in whatever form that you, whatever company you buy your books from. But wouldn't that be nice as you're just scrolling through and you find things and you just click away? I think
I went back to the page. It looks like one of them may have loaded.
Okay.
Just could be a little sluggish, but we can jump back to that.
Sure. So again, you get the drift. Put the little, and you can even put this on your phone. So as you're going around, you could shop for things. This is an Innovation Lab shopping list. I put things in for an Innovation Lab. You could put books. You could put anything in your shopping list, and then later on, oh, I need to buy that.
And the thing I want to jump on is it's also great on your phone with the Wakelet app to just go and hit say you want to share it, and then it'll say other options, hit Wakelet, your app will show, it'll show up in another window. I've created a TBR list to be read.
Yep.
I think I have 7 of them as I still have to read, but at least it's a place where you can drop it, or you can just drop it in your list. And when you go home and you're on your computer, there it is. That's what
exactly.
Emphasize. Let me see if I can go back.
Exactly. Yeah, let's see. Oh, here's a newsletter one. So here's a template. Again, what I really love about the template is immersive reader. So you can send this out to families. And if your families, if you have a district that you have many English language learners, they can read it in their own language. So everyone's included. These are just some topics. You could modify, change, add, whatever you like. But I put in a lot because, we start thinking, well, what else can I put in there? So again, there's a copy button, copy it away, change it, add to it. There's just a quick little template for you. Okay. So we have shopping lists, templates, reading logs, and my last one was, oh, I guess I don't have a last one. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to click on this, so hopefully it'll open.
Actually, can you stay on the main one and while that one's loading in? And let's talk a little bit about this. So the Wakelet that Deb is opening is a collaborative Wakelet. And we really wanted to take the opportunity while we have so many amazing, we have 400 participants in the webinar right now. You may not all be librarians, but as we were talking and looking at different things, I can search for people in Wakelet, and I can search for words when I'm just exploring. And sometimes if you have it in your bio, it will pop up. But there is not a super amazing list of all librarians that's been consolidated that I can find in Wakelet. So we wanted to take today an opportunity to do this. I'm going to drop the link to the collection right here, as far as you can see it on the screen. And so that is the Wakelet that Deb was opening up. It's collaborative. And so Deb, if you go to that, as far as we'll show you how to actually join it, and you can add your information. And I'd love for you to just grab your profile from Wakelet and drop it in there, because then we can have the opportunity to learn from you, because I know that a lot of you are using this and we haven't seen how you're using Wakelet. We're sharing our new ideas. And of course, we may blow this up, right? Like, this will be the power of technology right now. So
This is going to be the epic Wakelet.
Yes. So, or maybe just an open, Deb, if you maybe go to your profile, just show how you can join a Wakelet, because some people were asking about some of those things in the chat. So when you're in a Wakelet, or in your profile there, you can see on the left-hand side there. Okay, yeah, there's Deb's. Awesome. So she's going to click on group collections, and this is what you need to do. And then it will ask you for a code. This is currently the best way that we can do this, as we're waiting for, some different collaborative updates coming. And you'll enter that collaborative code there. And I'll drop that into the chat one more time.
Can you read the code to me, somebody?
Yes, it is 80C.
Ooh, you kicked out.
Oop.
6B, and drop this CE6BF. Yep. And so in that collection already, we have our profiles, because that's one of the cool things, as far as like, you can follow different people on Wakelet and be able to see what they're creating and see how they have their Wakelets organized. That always gives me such good ideas to see what my colleagues are creating. Could you click there on that ISTE one, please? We've mentioned as far as newsletters, so this is definitely one that I want to highlight, as far as our ISTE Librarians Network is a great Wakelet to be following, right? As far as follow that profile, and you'll see that's from this past year, being able to see what's happening with ISTE Librarians Network. And some other ones, again, I started to add people and I thought, you know what, these are some of the people that I look to see what they're creating. And so, but I'd love to be able to look to you and see what you're creating as well. So please add your profile here. It's a great way to have.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, it's a great way to kind of get us in one place. I know that in Twitter, I have lists that I follow, right? As far as so I can switch back and forth, or I'm using my tweet deck and I can follow hashtags. But we thought this might be a good starting point to be able to see what you're doing. And so if you want to share this with a librarian in your school, in your district, in your region, as far as do that, because again, we are so much stronger together. I know when I first came into the profession, my PLC was built online, right? As far as like mentors from afar, because I was the only one in my district doing what I did. No one else knew, and I had to pretend like I knew what I was doing. So, right, that's where we find our answers.
You make it.
That's right. So really, really important. Another thing in the library that's really important is I had a lot of advice early on, as far as anything that you're doing repeatedly, whether it's a conversation or something that you're creating, and you need to clone yourself. And there are so many different ways with technology now that we can clone ourselves. And so when we think about using Wakelet, I do a lot of professional development now and spend a lot of time in Google making hyperdocs and things like that. But we also, as librarians, are curators. So yeah, go ahead and you can scroll down. That's good, Deb. It was my pleasure last summer, to be able to recognize and present from ALA and recognize Wakelet as being a best website for 2019. And it was almost like, okay, here's the hint. I'm presenting to this filled room. Everybody always wants to know what's on the best website list. And I presented from a Wakelet, but we waited to announce that Wakelet was recognized to the very end. So it was like a teaser. So again, as curators, as professional development leaders in our schools, districts, wherever you're doing this, it's just a great way to be able to consolidate and have all those links in one place. I know also in our main collection, these are the best websites from last year. Shannon served on the best apps committee, and so that collection is listed in our main one as well. And as Deb emphasized earlier, it keeps everything in one place. You're not opening tons of tabs. You're able to watch the videos. It's really a seamless way to be able to, again, curate and consolidate and do those types of things. As we talk about curation, personal curation, we've shared some different ways as far as like shopping lists and things like that. One of my favorite things to do is at the end of the week. And so this is a tweet that I shared a couple years ago with Wakelet, as far as at the end of the day on Friday, sometimes, as you see, Deb is also a tab user like I am. I love to use that extension and go, okay, this can wait, but I've got so much going on. I need to get all my projects together. And so using that and saying, hey, will you make a private collection of all the tabs that I currently have open? Because then I need to give my computer a break, because guess what? It's probably a good thing to shut your computer down every once in a while. So I do this and make my private Mondays to-do list. And then I'm able to go there and look and see what do I need to actually work on and which tabs I want to reopen on Monday morning and work from there.
Which I don't know if anybody noticed, because you were saying how, I have like a bajillion tabs. Usually I have pin.
Right.
I don't know if anybody noticed here, when I opened up, there's all my Wakelet right there. And that's all a result of the extension. There's all my open tabs. I can turn off the Wakelet tab, or I can leave it open, and I could turn around. And if you look right down, I'm gonna move everybody over here, all the tabs, if I have 15 tabs open, which as librarians we usually do,
absolutely, and 2 screens,
like at the end of the week, boom, I can create a collection and it'll come right up. And as you can see, you already can see a lot of my collections. And it's also a fast way, instead of having to jump back into Wakelet, all my collections are right there. And I can just, boop, there they are, pull them up. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
And I'm glad that you showed that, because that's so important. And especially the turn on and off. Not everybody likes opening a tab and seeing their Wakelet connections or collections. Like, I love it because it reminds me, as far as like, oh, I should be putting things here, but being able to turn it on and off at the top is
and
really
being able to search. Like, if we were having a conversation, I could say, hold on a second, I remember something like that. And I can
saved that. I didn't save it as a bookmark. I saved it as a bookmark in Wakelet, because I'm going to be pulling it into a collection when I need it. So for sure.
Which would be nice if after collections and group collections, there was a tab that said bookmarks. So
updates coming soon, right?
I'm sure okay. Next one is...
We've mentioned, as far as like using it for curation and templates and things like that. And so one of the things, as far as I threw a template in there, because again, I like to make lots of hyperdocs, but I found that sometimes it's good just to have a checklist of what I want to make sure that I'm including in a workshop for teachers. And so feel free to make a copy and make it your own, because again, the more that you can do to clone your work, right? As far as like, you take the template that's there, change the picture, make it for your school, make it for your company, whatever it is that you need to do, and then be able to tweak it and make it your own, because not reinventing the wheel is such a time saver. And again, when you are juggling thousands of things, as school librarians do, that makes a huge difference to be able to do that.
Sherry, when I saw this, Sherry, I thought it was amazing, because I was thinking this is great for lesson planning.
Well, exactly.
I hadn't thought about that.
I always think as far as like when you're leading professional development, it really should be an example of what's happening in the classroom, right? And so when you look at some of the things that are listed there, you want to make sure these are the same steps that you're doing in your own lessons with students. And so it's a reminder if you're leading something with the staff, taking them through those same types of steps as well. Underneath in our main Wakelet, I dropped just a couple of other templates of people that aren't librarians that I thought are doing really good work because, again, we collaborate and work with all educators. And so I love Christina shares some newsletters. And so maybe you're looking for some different ones. Those newsletters there come from I'm getting to
Erin.
I say I'm going to go totally blank here as far as Erin
Erin.
Flanagan. I shared as
Yeah.
far as how I was putting that in there. And then there's another one underneath, Sean Fahey. You probably might know him from some Flipgrid sharing that he does. And so some of the literacy shares that he's done, I think are some great ones. So again, following lots of different people and not reinventing the wheel, cloning yourself.
And one thing I want to throw in there, being the librarians, we're all about copyrights and permissions. It doesn't matter if you make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy and it was mine or Sherry's or Shannon's or Christina's, credit will always go back to one of the four of us. So don't even stress your little heart out about that. We made sure with Wakelet.
Yep, that was an update.
that people are getting credit where credit is due. So when you open up Sherry's, was this Sean's right here?
Well, that is Sean,
learning.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It may say added by Sherry or whatever, but when you click on it, you will see created by Sean Fahey. It never goes away.
Right, but and even if you copy it,
yeah,
yes,
right. If you
stays.
copy it, it will say a copy of, and this is because we were very concerned about this, right? It is not just a copy of and the name of the collection, a copy of the name of the collection and the author of that collection. So even if you copy your own template, it will say, you know, copy of, and it will say yourself. So thank you very much, Sherry, because that was something that we really pushed for as librarians.
If I can find it, I'll throw it up. What I just copied, it's probably under my collections now.
And this Wakelet is growing. I've got it open in another tab on my screen here. So again, I'll drop those links in for you to continue to add your profiles in here. Thanks for doing that and sharing that across. It's going to be awesome to be able to look at your collections, because if you didn't have library or librarians, I can't find you. So this will help me out quite tremendously as we together are stronger. All right, tag off.
Shannon.
Okay. I love all the ideas, you guys. Thank you for sharing those. Well, one thing that we used ours for a lot last year were our book clubs, and we use them not just when we were at school, but also with our virtual book club through remote learning as well. And so why I really like this is with our book clubs, like we give the kids a lot of choice on what they want to read, and it's usually focused around a theme. And so, for example, this one over the Holocaust, we put all the books in there, but then I found resources if it was a video or maybe a video with the author or a book trailer, any information where then the kids it could really hook them, because when they're looking at something like this and they can see a trailer or a connection to something, then it does really make a difference. And so these were something that we started doing last year, and the teachers and the students have absolutely loved them. And like I said, when we were doing this remotely, it was really helpful because we were able to send it to the kids and talk about them and show them a little bit more. And our book clubs are continuing throughout the summer too, through remote learning. And so this has been really, really helpful. And again, you can make a copy. And so this is something that you can use and find just some good books as well. Okay.
Ugh, menu in the way.
So many books I want to read in that one too.
I know. Oh, there's a couple more that I've got I can share with you that are coming.
Love it. And then another thing that we used ours for was we use it for student projects or student curation. And when our kids we gave them the task of deciding what our little secondary, we have kind of a pop-up library space in our upstairs. I'm in a K-12 building, and so this is for our secondary library branch. And we gave the kids then a chance to design it, and so we wanted them to be able to, use maybe like a layout tool or Buncee to make posters or Canva or whatever it might be. They were putting in here and using it, then ordering like from Demco, like little poster holders and things, so they could go and then get to the information that they needed. The cool thing about this is they used the QR code, because on all Wakelets, you can either share, like maybe you can show them that, Deb, and you can get the QR code really easily, or the URL, or share it in other spaces. And so the kids made a poster and they had it then by the space, and then the other kids would go over and scan it. And then it made it just really collaborative and interactive. And they even put posters up like in the lunchroom for kids to be able to go. And so I loved the way that they did that. And it was great too, because we curated it together. And so I loved using it for that. And the little QR code is one of my favorite things, because it makes it so easy to share it. And so I love that too. Okay, thanks.
Okay, then.
And then I use it too for special events. And so anything, I love being a librarian because we can always celebrate anything, right? There's things all throughout the year. So whenever we have an idea, I always laugh, because whenever I have an idea of something, I'm like, there is some way that I will get that into the library or the school this year. And so with all the events that we have, things like Global Read Aloud or World Read Aloud Day or Dot Day, whatever it might be, Wakelet is a great place to be able to just curate and share the fun resources that we might need. This one that is loading is for Global Read Aloud. Deb, maybe go and open up oh, there we go. The summer reading one too, just so it loads. With Global Read Aloud, I'm sure that a lot of you have heard about this. And this was something too that it was really helpful, again, just keeping that QR code up in the library and making sure that I shared that with the kids on our website, so then they could go and see what authors and books we were focusing on for Global Read Aloud. And this was also helpful for teachers, because they could go and get the information about the authors or the books that they were focusing on as well. And so this is something that I've done for the last couple of years, and we'll do again this year as soon as we know what the great list is and all of the things around it, which I love. And so you can put any links to, again, if it's Facebook or a website, and just make it really interactive just as a resource. And then the last one that I want to share is using Wakelet for summer reading and learning. And we are doing this great thing, and any of you can. It's just called our virtual camp adventure. And all of the resources in here are free to use. And so there's resources from Capstone and from Buncee and from a lot of places that we already use, like Storyline Online. And so all kinds of things that we can get to for our kids. So please join that. But one thing I wanted to share on here is I love, maybe go to my Wakelet, Deb. I really love using Buncee for choice boards. I use Google Slides and I use Buncee as well. And I've been making these choice boards ever since actually like March, when we've all been at home, just filled with Capstone interactive books, because we all have access to them. I think I would stay in the Wakelet.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just popped up. Oh, wait. There you go.
And I wanted, though, to share that when I make a choice board in a Buncee, I love it because with Buncee and Wakelet's partnership, when you take that link, you can embed a Buncee now into a Wakelet. And so the kids can get to the choice board that's made in Google Slide, but they can also see in that image that you can see right there, they can get then to all of those books as well. And so it makes it, I think you're just clicking maybe, Deb, on an actual link of a book, but it's okay. You can just stay there and they can see
It's
it.
embedded. It won't let me click into it.
Yeah, that, I think maybe because you're clicking on, there we go, on the,
No, that just brings me to the Bunsey home. I don't want to be in there.
I'll fix that because
Yeah.
I don't know why that would be that way, but I'll fix it. But it's really nice because I love the way that we can now embed bunsies. Another way that we used it because of that option to be able to embed, when our kids would create like a bunsy, we also used it as a place then at the end to share their bunsies. And so if they had a certain theme that they were creating around, or maybe a project, then we can use that then as a spot for them to share not just bunsies, but maybe they're making a storyboard that, or they're making an Animoto, and we can use Wakelet then, and it's really great because they're either embedded or linked right there. So I love that part too.
I went into your collection. You want me to see if I can jump in and link the Bunsey?
Sure.
Just the one?
Yeah.
See if it works from here.
It's so strange that it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Anytime I hit a link, it's just bouncing to the books.
Yes. And if you click on a link, it will bounce to the books, but it gives you information right there on how to log in. And so once you're here, then you would, and the username and password is right on the Bunsey that you guys can get there. So it's just continue reading, and that's open until the end of June. And then I'll have some more free resources to share too. So everybody please join, because everything you can share it with your kids and also just your families too throughout the summer. And so that link will take you to the Google site with all of the resources there.
Just click on it, see if it opens. There we go.
Yep, there we go. So we're on week number 2, because we got out of school here at Van Meter on May 22nd, but there's no date on them. And so if you share this with your community, it's not dated, and you can, first week was imagination, and then we had, this week was on the farm, which is appropriate, you know, being in Iowa. So we have a lot to teach everybody. So this has been really fun. But it's fun using Wakelet too. And I really wanted to share, you know, that also just the thing with Bunsey. I was so excited when that happened, because we use that so much that it's nice that it opens up right inside of there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, I'm looking at this as a participant, and there is so much in here that I'm gonna try out. I'm
We're
like,
all gonna be busy, right?
I'm like looking at all these resources, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to use that. I want to use that. I want to use that.
Just wait until you click into this collection where everybody's sharing their profiles. Talk about a rabbit hole. And it's like, oh, look at these great things that librarians across the world are, you know, curating and sharing with their students, with their staff. So this collection is going to be super powerful. I'm really excited to spend time digging in and looking at all of your creations. Thanks for sharing.
This is really, really great. I'm so excited.
Any questions anybody's asking?
I don't think there are any questions. I think I've answered all of them in the chat. Okay. But do you guys have any sort of tips maybe that you could give sort of people that might be new to Wakelet or have been using Wake for a little while? Anything that you sort of would tell other people?
Play with it. Just play. Nobody's expecting you to become a wizard overnight, because Christina's the reason why I got involved. When we met up 2 years ago, she's like, you've got to try this. You've got to try this. And then boom, that's all I ever do on my phone is add stuff straight from my phone to my collections, my TBRs, or whatever. You know, it's just being able to do all those app smashes. You know, Shannon's got the reading club, but then look, you can go to the capstone. You can go to all the different things. It just, you know.
My favorite thing, I know. Oh, sorry. Is the immersive reader, but if you noticed on our collection, those flying in books, I love gifts, and you can have your kids make their own gifts and create them in, or you could do like a virtual classroom like I have behind me, put those in. But I hear like if you don't have images, you could just take from the library. But I heard yesterday that finally a gift library is coming. Yes, I've been wanting that, but I'll go into other places and I'll make my own, but or I'll save them. But I really like animating them because it really catches your eye. So that's just a little tip. That's not really library related, but it's a little bit of a design tip.
That's a hush hush one.
I want to say connect your Google Drive, because again, as my life is in Google, everything that I create is in Google. Having that app smash, I mean, because literally that's what that is as well, right? Having your Google Drive where I can pull in different documents and different things like that. Joyce, shout out, she likes that too. That is a game changer for me. I love my Omnibox as far as being able to find things in Google, but when I'm able to bring in those documents and again keep everything, just keep it simple in one place. I know it's been such a good thing during the pandemic. People are like, oh well, I'm in this LMS, I'm here, I'm there, but wherever you're sharing, share the Wakelet, because Wakelet will have everything that they need, right? As far as that one-stop shop, and whatever you need, it's going to be able to come over.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to experiment either. You know, you might think you can't do a quadruple app smash, but you can. Or just do a single app smash. Go ahead and put those bunsies in there. Or, you know, the other thing that's great is being able to have a Flipgrid short in there. Where, you know, with the pandemic, it's nice to be able to just click, record a little video and let the kids, hey, just check in. This is how I look when I'm at home in my pajamas, just like you guys, you know?
Right. Those digital reading logs, the kids can record Flipgrid videos directly through that. You're right, Deb. And so if they're in one of those days where they don't feel like typing or writing, they could just record their reflection and then write another. It's a multimedia. And, you know, literacy is not just words and writing. Literacy is using your voice and its presentation and all those things. And I love that because, you know what, a lot of my kids, you know, over the years, you know, especially special education students, they actually hooked on the technology and found other ways of sharing to other kids. And that was their strength. So Wakelet, I think, empowers all students to learn and to even teach one another through their own strengths. And it has immersive reader and other tools that will help them with things that they and their weaknesses. So that's why I love it. Wakelet. It's just amazing.
But that's the other thing. It's all student choice and student voice. I'm a huge advocate of that. And I talked about it on my session on Monday when I was showing a research project. It wasn't the typical, I'm going to type a document and I'm going to just write. No, go record your video reflection. Go create that graphic in Canva, Buncee, Adobe Spark.
Find the gifts that go with it, right?
Yes.
If they don't exist, create them, like Christina said. So
exactly.
You know, it's giving them the power to express their voice. And Wakelet pulls all of that into one place. You know, and don't be afraid to use our stuff. That's why we gave it to you.
I'm looking in the chat and there's some different questions as far as like someone just asked about Schoology. So you can share Wakelet links in any LMS and any platform, right? As far as, so just knowing what you're creating in Wakelet, Deb showed you as far as like, it has short links to share and those QR codes, but if you just grab that link, you can put that and embed it into wherever your LMS is. So if that's where they're going to start with, then put your Wakelet links in there. So again,
there's 2 questions. The Flipgrid video is, if you make this unlisted, only people with the link can see it. So you don't have to worry about that. You're protecting the kids' privacy. Right. And then PD, we've all done it. You want to know about stuff, just reach out to us. When I presented at TCA and I helped the guys at the booth, I think I shared my presentation at least 100 times. I'm like, here, just take it. Take it. That's what it's there for. We're there to help you guys.
And that's why we shared our contact information, right? As far as like, you know, I think all of us pretty much shared Twitter because that's where we live, right? As far as like, that's where we connect. And so reach out, message us there. And again, we are always happy to connect and help others grow because like you said, we learn from each other and that's how we all get better.
And Sherry, that epic Wakelet of librarians is going to be so powerful because now I can look through and we can all look through and see what other people are doing. So thank you for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I can't
yeah,
wait until
everybody
Wakelet decides we
reach
can curate people, right? As far as like, I'm sure eventually we're going to have an organization system for that. I see Callum in the background thinking he's going, okay, we have some possibilities.
Yeah,
Because
well,
bring a lot to the table. Somebody asked me yesterday what a librarian was. I said, we're the guardians of information. We're the gatekeepers. Start with us and we go from there. And where can we keep all the information? Right in the Wakelet.
I've heard one of the ambassadors call Wakelet, I think it was Linda Edwards from Canada. So if you're watching, shout out to Linda. She called Wakelet a digital passport. So there's all these different platforms that you can use. And a lot of the time, teachers don't want students to go to all these different platforms. So they bring them all into Wakelet and then they can just stay inside of Wakelet. So I thought that was quite a nice analogy of Wakelet that I thought I'd share. But just tying into what Deb was saying then, and Sherry, we're going to be sharing all of the resources alongside the contact information for everybody here in that collection that was just talked through, alongside the recording after this session. So hopefully in a couple of hours, you'll receive an email. It might be 24 hours depending because there's a lot of emails going out of all the attendees that are attending these sessions. So hopefully within 24 hours, probably before then, we'll be sending out the recording, the collection of resources, and also certificate of attendance as well, just so you can have a certificate to show whoever that might be that you've attended. And just one more thing as well, at Wakelet, we do host weekly webinars. So if you're maybe new to Wakelet and you want to sort of get started from the beginning, we do a weekly beginner's guide to Wakelet webinar. So we do that every Tuesday. I'm just going to share that link in the chat as well. So if you want to maybe go through Wakelet a bit slower, maybe from the beginning, and actually go through how to create your first collection and all them sorts of things, please join us. And you can see all the dates through June on that link that I shared. But again, if there's no time in June, we do them every week, every month of the year, apart from Community Week. So just head there. And yeah, we'd love to see any ideas of like your favorite ideas that have been shared today, any ideas that have been sparked from what's been talked about today on hashtag Wakelet Community Week. We have been actually running a competition each day of Community Week where we're giving away iPads, Chromebooks, Surface Book Pros, some exclusive new Wakelet swag t-shirts that's coming out, and also some Amazon vouchers courtesy of AWS EdStart. So thanks to Amazon for providing these prizes for us. But yeah, please, if you want to enter, all you have to do is tweet out hashtag Wakelet Community Week, and every time you tweet out, that classes as a new entrance. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Anything else from anybody else?
Just reach out, whatever you need, we're here for you.
Okay, so it looks like we're right on the hour there. That was really good timing. But yeah, if there is any questions that we couldn't get to today, feel free to reach out to Wakelet or any of the hosts of today's session. If you want to reach out to Wakelet, just head over to us on Twitter. So I'm going to also add in my Wakelet's Twitter alongside our YouTube channel. So you can reach us on Twitter with any questions, and also check out our YouTube with any of the help material. And like we said, actually, should we share that collection one more time as well that you made?
Absolutely. All the links that we shared today live in this collection. So if you're like, ooh, I love that collection that Christina shared or that Deb shared, they are all here. So start with the main one, and that will, again, give you lots of other collections. So collections within collections.
And we can tweet it out too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. So hopefully in a few hours, we will share the collection of everything. So I'll have a recording, some cool tweets that people have tweeted out, and also the resources. So we can share them online as well later on, but you should be receiving them. Everybody should receive them in emails. But any last words from anybody before we jump off?
Keep on curating.
Yep.
Keep on
And
sharing, right?
that's
Because
right.
that's what we want to see. You share, we get to learn from you as well and share
Yep.
with our
CLN,
kids.
that's what it's all about.
We are better together.
Yep.
Agreed. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yes, thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thanks so much for running these sessions. I know you've had to take time out of your days for planning it and join us, and it's provided so much knowledge for everybody in the who's joined us today and the people that will view this afterwards. So thanks so much for taking the time out to share your learning with everybody.
Our pleasure.